Well, what did Jim mean to the party? He was, in a sense, the heart and soul of the party. He had held so many positions. When I became president of the party, I asked him to come back onto the executive council. I don't think there was a provincial election where Jim wasn't running one campaign or a number of campaigns. He was kind of the heart and soul of the party.
It's me, what a big surprise, calling you up from a restaurant round the bend. Just got in from way up north, I'm making tired now, and I could use a friend.
Somebody who just becomes a member of the party should, I would say, know the Jim Evans story and his commitment to the party, because it's the kind of commitment that Jim had, which is kind of the standard for the kind of people that we need in this party. And he dedicated his whole life to this party, and to the federal party as well, but the provincial party was really front and center for him. So a new member should know that this kind of dedication is possible within a political party, and certainly the Ontario Liberal Party.
What do I think Jim meant to the party? That's a really big question. Jim meant to the party what the perfect volunteer was. I mean, he did everything. He was president of the party, he was executive director of the party, he was campaign manager, he was a regional vice president, he was a riding president, he was on every executive in every riding he ever lived in. He gave up everything for the party, always, and he never asked for anything in return. And I think what Jim meant to the party was that perfect liberal who did it all, who we wouldn't be where we are without the Jim Evans of the world in politics. You know, we wouldn't have gotten into government, we wouldn't be a party that sustained itself over decades. So, you know, Jim Evans is the Ontario Liberal Party.
I would say he had a big voice, and of course we all remember him singing "O Canada" at all of our AGMs. Big voice, big heart, larger than life, big passion.
How I would describe Jim to a new member is your friend. Jim was always there to give good advice. I always had some amazing conversations with him, always very encouraging of young people to get involved in politics, and especially get involved in our party. We need more Jim Evans in the Ontario Liberal Party.
I can't exactly remember when I met Jim. It was just like Jim was always there. He's just such a fixture of the party. Every event, he sat on the executive, he chaired events. I can't single one quintessential moment when I said, that's when I met Jim Evans.
Yeah.
It's like I always knew him.
I would describe Jim to a new party member by saying that if you were to somehow spend the majority of your life working to make the party better, to help the party make ordinary Ontarians or ordinary Canadians' lives better, and if you were to do that for 40 years, you might just come close to what Jim Evans may have meant to all of us.
I never meant to make you cry, and though I know I shouldn't call.
Jim was everything. He was everything to everyone. He gave up so much of his personal life and time with his family to help us, and that kind of kindness is not often seen. So to a new party member, I think I would say Jim was selfless.
I just think he was iconic, right? He was everywhere. He knew everybody. He knew stories about everybody and where the skeletons were buried. Stories were often profane. They were almost always funny. They were certainly deliciously dirty on several occasions. So I don't know, every man's every liberal, I guess. He was just lots of fun.
You know, there are very few of these individuals that we meet in our lifetime who are bedrock to an organization or a political party, and you know, Jim was one of those individuals. You can use the term heart and soul and things of that nature, but he really did live and breathe, and he was you know, the beating heart of the party. Not just when times were good, but in particular, that beating heart is important when things are not as good. And for many of those years, Jim was at the front of the line, at the vanguard, keeping things alive for better times.
Jim Evans. I first met Jim long before I was involved in politics. I was the owner-operator of the original Chapters bookstore in Waterdown, and Jim was running a little bookstore in Ancaster. We met, discovered we shared a lot of values, and became instant friends. Did a number of educational book sales together, and got to the point where Jim ran my campaign as for mayor of the town of Flamborough, and he also ran my by-election campaign in 2000. So he was a dear friend.
Just a really genuine human being.
Jim Evans in one word. I think that word would be Jim was a true mensch.
Friend. Friendship.
The liberal.
I have to use that four-letter word again and say loud.
Be family.
Baseball.
Passionate.
Warrior.
Baseball.
Baseball. Jim was about baseball.
Baseball. And always baseball.